Welcome to the Intuitive Therapist Podcast with Janis Cohen, therapist, clairvoyant, empath, and medium. Listen in as she takes a no-nonsense deep dive into real human struggles and how to resolve them. Janis will share channeled information from her spirit guide team, as well as the angels and archangels, to help you master your emotional, physical, financial, and spiritual destiny. And now, Janis R. Cohen.
Hey y'all, this is Janis Cohen, the Intuitive Therapist, here on the Intuitive Therapist Podcast. So glad you're joining me this week because I'm going to talk about one of the most influential authors and books in my life spiritually. And I want to tell you all about it because I really want you to experience the beauty and depth of this book and the knowledge that it has in it. And more so, I'm going to share the content of it with you. I feel like it's going to be a real eye-opener for you to understand even more about the chakra system, but more so really about who you are, what you're made of, and how you can show up even more fully just knowing this little bit of knowledge. So about 15 years ago, I was guided to read the book by Caroline Myss called Anatomy of the Spirit. And it really changed my life. And it turned my whole understanding of who I was and who we all are on a side, y'all. Flipped it. If you haven't heard of her, her last name is spelled Myss, M-Y-S-S. And her wisdom, really, it's a must to get to know. And this book especially is one of her most significant works. She is not only, like I said, an energy medicine practitioner, but also a medical intuitive. This book is really chock full of amazing insights about how there are 7 sacred truths, otherwise known as the 7 chakras, within each of us. And they have very, very specific functions and intentions for us all. This is not going to be entirely about the chakras, so I just wanted to let you know. Rather, it's intended to help you realize what's going on in your life as you connect with and understand and become aware of these energy centers and how they play a role in your successes and in your challenges. I would imagine that if you're listening to my podcast, you've already heard of chakras and energy centers. This book is going to give you a deeper sense of understanding about them. And of course, this podcast today is going to give you a deeper understanding about them. But really, it's going to help you understand yourself better. So I thought I would just offer you a quick recap of the foci of the chakras. Now, before I go into this, know that there have been others that have been named, other chakras around the body. People have identified up to 12 or 13. And you could look those up on the internet. They're just in different places, kind of outside the body. But the ones that I'm going to talk about are the main ones, which you're going to need to be aware. So they're called 7 sacred truths in this book. And I'm going to speak about them and refer to them predominantly as sacred truths. The first truth, truth number 1, is tribal power, our family roots. The tribal chakra resonates to our need to honor familial bonds and to have a code of honor with ourselves. Okay, so this is located basically at the base of your coccyx. It's literally your root, what grounds you, what ties you to the earth, ties you to your family history. And so you will also know, this is why this book is so great. If you get the book, there's I think after all of this is explained, it gives you a chart about the symptoms that you have in your body and what they correlate to in terms of the energy centers. So, for example, people can have difficulty in this area through chronic lower back pain, sciatica, varicose veins, rectal tumors and cancer, depression, immune-related disorders, and the mental and emotional issues connected to this chakra has to do with physical, family, and group safety and security, the ability to provide for life's necessities, the ability to stand up for yourself, feeling at home, social and familial law and order. So it really relates to the basis of who you are. Truth number 2, the merging of the partnership chakra. This is the second chakra that is located around the sexual organs. This is about honoring one another, where we act with integrity and honor within all of our relationships, from marriage to friendships to professional bonds. This energy is particularly active because it resonates in all financial and creative activity. Integrity and honor are necessary for health. When we violate our honor or compromise it in any way, we contaminate our spirits and our physical bodies. And with this chakra, chakra number 2, this is connected with the physical dysfunctions of chronic lower back pain, sciatica, OBGYN problems, pelvic and low back pain, sexual potency, urinary problems, and the mental emotional issues that are connected with the chakra are blame and guilt, money and sex, power and control, creativity, ethics, and honor in your relationships. Truth number 3, the merging of the personal power chakra, okay? And that is located right in your belly. It's called it's not the sacral chakra. Now I'm blanking. I'll come back to it. But this is right in your belly. And it's directly connected to self-esteem and self-respect. This chakra, the third chakra, contains our survival intuition and our sense that protects us when we are in physical danger. And it alerts us to the negative energy and actions of other people, our guts, right? Solar plexus. That's what it is. Thank you guys upstairs. We violate this energy when we disregard our gut instincts. Really think about this. This is one of the most powerful parts of your body. This is all about the acceptance of the responsibility for the quality of person we become. Now, the energy anatomy of the third chakra has to do the physical symptoms: arthritis, gastric and duodenal ulcers, colon and intestinal problems, pancreatitis, diabetes, indigestion, chronic or acute, anorexia or bulimia, liver dysfunction, hepatitis, adrenal dysfunction. And the mental emotional issues that are connected with chakra number 3, the chakra of personal power, is trust, where you question and you don't trust others, you doubt them. Fear and intimidation, low self-esteem, low self-confidence, low self-respect, lack of care of oneself and others, the inability to make decisions, the sensitivity to criticism, and the lack of personal honor. Truth number 4, the merging of emotional power chakra. So this chakra is located in the heart. Okay, so we've had the sacral chakra. We've had chakra number 2, which is, we have the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the chakra that's in your belly, the solar plexus chakra. We have the heart chakra now that we're talking about. So that is, like I said, truth number 4. This is the central power point within the human energy system, the symbolic doorway into our inner world. The energy of the chakra communicates to us the knowledge that love is the only authentic power. We violate this energy when we act towards others in unloving ways. And the challenge within this chakra is to refine our capacity to love others as well as ourselves and to develop the power of forgiveness. So the physical dysfunctions, if you're challenged in this chakra area, are congestive heart failure, myocardial infarction, heart attack, mitral valve prolapse, cardiomegaly. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm reading from the book because I want to make sure I'm being accurate with y'all. Asthma or allergy, lung cancer, bronchial pneumonia, upper back, shoulder, breast cancer. Okay? The mental emotional issues that you're challenging or being challenged by in this chakra are love and hate, resentment and bitterness, grief and anger, self-centeredness, loneliness and commitment, forgiveness and compassion, hope and trust. Now, if you notice, these are conflicting. So you can't feel love and hate at the same time. So you're experiencing an emotional internal conflict when this chakra is challenged. Okay, so if you're having any of those issues that I mentioned, please understand that the energy connected with the physical manifestation of that has to do with the fourth chakra. Truth number 5, the merging of the chakra of willpower. This is our throat chakra. Okay, number 5. The power created by the preceding 4 forces, the 4 first chakras, transmits into our system the sacred truth, surrender person to the divine will. Actually, I think it's surrender personally, your personal will to divine will. This surrender is the greatest act we can perform to bring spiritual stability to our lives. Each of us has some awareness that we're born for a specific purpose. And I hear that all the time. People come to me and they say, Janis, what is my path and purpose? We're all drawn. Sometimes we have to go through certain experiences to be enlightened about our path and purpose. And we know that life contains a divine plan. This chakra, the 5th chakra, is the center for the awareness and for our desire to make contact with the divine plan. Whatever crises we face, they force us to confront the limitations of our own inner resources that are preventing us from successfully completing our plan. Once we're in that inevitable situation, we ask questions like, well, what am I meant to do with my life? What's my purpose? And interestingly enough, this sets the stage for aligning our will to the divine plan, the most profound choice we can make. That one choice, made in faith and trust, allows divine authority to enter our lives and reorder our struggles into successes and our wounds into strengths. And while we may or may not consciously desire to surrender our personal will to divine authority, we are sure to encounter numerous opportunities to do so. You've heard of people hitting rock bottom and asking God to step in. Well, this is chakra 5. It's where we use our voice to reclaim a better path and to give up our desire to control our lives. Rather, we invite and we insist on divine intervention to take the lead in our lives. And with that knowledge of the power beyond us, we untether ourselves from what has blinded us or held us back, or we go where we're guided to go and to explore what we're guided to explore. So, here are the challenges with the energy anatomy of chakra 5. The physical symptoms: raspy throat, chronic sore throat. Remember, this is the voice chakra, the throat chakra. Mouth ulcers, gum difficulties, temporal mandibular joint problems, TMJ, scoliosis, laryngitis, swollen glands, thyroid problems. With this chakra, the mental and emotional challenges are choice and strength of will, personal expression, following one's dream, using personal power to create. This connects to addiction, judgment and criticism, faith and knowledge, capacity to make decisions. And the most prevalent experience I know, especially when I'm channeling, and I always tell people I'm an empath literally and metaphorically, because my body takes on the metaphorical representation of the emotional issue of my clients. And most often that shows up in my throat chakra when I'm reading for somebody. I tell them, hey, my voice is real clear right now, but if anything happens, if I get stuck on a word, if I cough or I have to swallow, then there's something going on emotionally, psychologically with what I've just said. And so I ask for guidance and clarity about that. So it's really, really cool how the body shows us what we are not acknowledging, what we're not dealing with. Truth number 6, chakra number 6, the merging of the mind, the sacrament, the ritual of ordination. Now I'm going to explain what this is. This truth is associated with the third eye, okay? And this is right in the middle of your forehead, just above your brows, all right? This is the seeing part of us, beyond our eyes. With this merging, we connect with the sacred teaching of seek only the truth. From the mind chakra, we receive the energy to search for answers into the mysteries we encounter. In other words, what's beyond what we see. It is by divine design that we begin to ask, why? And we want to know more today than we ever did yesterday. The energy pulsating from the chakra continually directs us to evaluate the truth and integrity of our beliefs. The sacrament of ordination, and it's kind of like in the literal sense, it's the act of being made a priest and officially taking up the life task of channeling the sacred. All of us can channel and be vessels for divine energy. And I tell everybody that. So many people don't believe me, and that's okay. But doing this as long as I've been doing this, everybody is intuitive, everybody is psychic. It's just a matter of how open or shut down you are. And for sure, I believe 1,000,000% that everybody can channel the divine. So the physical dysfunctions that are connected with this chakra, chakra number 6, remember I said it's third eye right above your brow, brain tumor, brain hemorrhages or stroke, neurological disturbances, blindness, deafness, full spinal difficulties, learning disabilities, seizures. Now, a lot of you, probably you're hearing some of these things, and you're like, well, this kind of sucks to know. And, well, what the heck am I supposed to do? And so, energetically, there's been so much written and examined about how we can resolve our physical illnesses through the mind-body connection, through focused intention. People resolve cancer a lot in this way. They set the intention. They literally see the cancer shrinking, and they deal with what's going on. So this chakra, the 6th one, the mental and emotional issues that are connected with this are self-evaluation, the ability to take a look at yourself, truth, intellectual abilities, feelings of inadequacy, openness to the ideas of others. And I will also say a physical manifestation of this is headaches, too. Openness to the ideas of others, the ability to learn from experience, and emotional intelligence. The last truth is number 7. This is the chakra number 7, the merging of the spirit. This chakra is on the top of your head. It's called it's called the crown chakra. And this has to do with the sacrament of extreme unction, which means ointment. So the sacred truth with this chakra, the crown chakra, is to live in the present. This is so important. Live in the present. Because we are essentially spiritual creatures, our spiritual needs are as crucial to our well-being as our physical needs, maybe even more so. The spirit chakra tells us that our spirits are eternal. We are more than our physical bodies, a truth that can comfort us during the many closures of life that are part of just the human experience. It's unnatural to our divine design to let our thoughts live for too long in the past. Such an imbalance creates time warps, and it interferes with our ability to live in the present and receive guidance. And if we receive guidance, it's not going to make much sense if we only focus on unraveling the mysteries of yesterday or attempting to figure out the future. If we live fully in the present moment, the mysteries of yesterday, and gradually, they'll become unraveled for us. How many of you look back at your lives, and when a crisis came, when a painful experience came, when a challenge came, you're like, all I want to do is understand why. Why am I going through this? Why is it so painful? And then maybe you're 3 months out. Maybe it's a week later when you have clarity. Maybe it's 6 years later, and you're able to look back and you go, oh my God, I couldn't be here if I hadn't gone through that. I just didn't know the purposefulness of it. So this chakra, the physical dysfunctions, energetic disorders, mystical depression, chronic exhaustion that's not linked to a physical disorder, extreme sensitivities to light, sound, and other environmental factors. This, the crown chakra, connects with the emotional issues of your ability to trust life. In other words, what happens beyond what you know, values and ethics and courage, humanitarianism, selflessness, the ability to see the larger pattern, faith and inspiration, spirituality and devotion. This is all about what is beyond you. So each of us is born knowing these 7 sacred truths. We're taught variations of these truths, again, as children through our tribe's religious practices. And even if we're not consciously taught these truths, they awaken in us automatically, in our guts, in our minds, in our sense of the natural order of life. And if you're somebody who is a religious person, this book connects it to every single religion. So please pick it up. It's not just entirely spiritual, but it really is a full-blown experience and connection with the chakras, their history, biblically, spiritually, emotionally, physically, psychologically. Truly one of the most important books in my spiritual growth. And I hope that you go ahead. Maybe there's an upgrade, a revision. This is quite old, the version that I have, because I've had it for so many years, and I've read it so many times. So please go ahead, get this book. It's fantastic. Read her other stuff too. She is amazing. Caroline Myss, Myss. I hope today was kind of cool for you, learning differently about the chakras. I hope that you can now understand that when you have physical manifestations, that there's energetic reasons for it. There are root causes for it about what you need to work on that perhaps you're not, perhaps you're avoiding, whatever it is. So get the book, read it, see what you can do to shift and change your life. Thank you for listening. Have a great week. And I'm excited. In the next couple of weeks, I've got a wonderful guest coming on to talk about a fantastic topic about how really you can tap into your inner artistic muse to really change your life. She's coming up in a couple of segments. Have a blessed day, a wonderful week, and as always, live intuitively.
Thanks for listening to The Intuitive Therapist. If you like what you heard, the best compliment you can give us is to share this podcast with a friend. And be sure to give us some stars and a favorable review at Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen in.